Welcome to the Elliott Alert. My guest today is Angela Newcomb, who is the area director. I know it's for Jefferson County, but I think it's a little bit bigger than that. Can you explain what the area director is for DHS or Ms. Newcomb?
Yes, sir. I'm the area director for the Area 7.
Okay, now what includes Area 7?
I've got 9 counties that I cover. So that includes Jefferson County, like you stated. I've also got Lone Oak and Prairie, Dallas, Cleveland, Lincoln, Bradley, Calhoun, Grant.
Wow.
Some of my other counties that I actually are over as well.
Now, I know that you have been working for DHS for how long?
17 years.
17 years. Now, how did you start?
Well, actually, I graduated from college, the University of Arkansas at Monticello in 1999 in May, and then in July, I actually started with the Division of Children and Family Services as a family service worker.
Now, did you do any interning?
No, I did not.
Wow.
Not with DCFS, I didn't. I actually did some internship with hospice here in Palm Bluff to get some intern time in, but other than that, I'd never done anything with the division, was not even knowledgeable about what they did. I just knew I needed a job.
Especially when you get out of college.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now, when you got into DHS, how were you able to become area director?
It was a long road. I've actually worked for the division for 17 years this past July. I started out as a family service worker, like I stated. Did that for about 3 years in Grant County. Moved up to a county supervisor in Grant County. Did that, and then about 5 years ago, I became acting area director for Area 7. And this is the position I've been in since then.
And I've been knowing you for a while, and anytime from a perspective that we've needed you, Angie has been on the spot. I mean, she returns phone calls. She works to help the kids in the community. So I just want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate what you and your wife are doing too right now as being foster parents in Jefferson County.
Most definitely, and I'm of a like-minded person to say, when you think something is wrong or when you want to help fix it, you have to get into it to help to change. And if you actually want to change, you have to put your name in the pot to change and to help kids. Do you think that's a fair analogy?
I completely agree with that, because there are a lot of people that think changes need to happen. But I also am one of those that feel if changes need to happen, we need help to make those changes happen.
Now, tell me this, from a foster care perspective, do we have a lot of foster parents here in Jefferson County or Grant County or the Area 7 that you...
Well, right now, and we'll kind of focus on Jefferson for the time being, but we have only 14 available foster homes in Jefferson County. And right now, as of yesterday, we had 117 children that were in foster care in Jefferson County. Now, and that's not including our kids that maybe are in relative custody, because we became involved in the courts have granted temporary custody to someone else. That's just the number of foster children that we have that need placement.
Well, I mean, if a person is interested in helping, well, I mean, how do they do it? Well, I guess my first question, is there a need for more people in Jefferson County to sign up and help? And then if so, I mean, how do they do it?
There is a high need of help in Jefferson County, and even considering my other counties that we discussed a while ago, but anybody that's interested in becoming a foster parent or even trying to figure out how to do more volunteer with the Division of Children and Family Services, they can go on our website, fosterarkansas.gov, and they can receive information about foster parenting, how to become a foster parent, the requirements of that, and then they can also find out if they want to adopt. Look into that process. It's the same website. They can call the local office, talk to any of our DHS, Division of Children and Family Service staff, and they can also make sure that they get into contact with our community engagement specialist, who is focusing on recruitment and retention of foster homes and finding volunteers as well.
So what I think I'm hearing you saying that there's a person out there geared towards recruiting people in the different counties to become foster parents, to help adopt, to help. Now, also, if a college student is going to the college to, I forgot what degree that may be, but if they're interested in interning to kind of figure out what they want to do when they graduate, or to get a foot in the door, does the department have any ways to do that?
Yes, we actually do, and if you'd like a contact person here actually on the campus of UAPB, Lee Allen in the social work department would be a great contact. We work with them. They're a partnership of ours for Area 7. He can actually explain and go a little bit more in detail with how that works, and maybe the different types of ways they can volunteer, do internship. We also have a stipend program as well.
Wow, so you're actually saying that if somebody is interested and they're in school, that there may be some form of a stipend. I'm sure it's not a big stipend, maybe it pays for books or something.
And I'm really not sure about the amount,
exactly.
but actually it doesn't go towards books. They can use it for anything they like, but the thing is once they do their time with being a stipend while they're going to college, then they actually have to give 2 years to the state.
To the state?
Working with the Division of Children and Family Services.
That's not.
And then they do not have to pay that money back.
But that's not a bad deal. I mean, that means that you have a job for at least 2 years.
Yes, sir. As soon as they graduate, we get a copy of their transcript, and they complete the paperwork, and they're actually allowed to pick up, you know, one of their main counties they would like to work out of, just in case they're not really from Jefferson and they want to move elsewhere in the state. That they can choose another county.
That's amazing, and I think more of our kids need to take advantage of that, because, again, do you guys look at grades? Let me ask that.
I mean, we do. But
right.
our biggest thing is to ensure that they actually have their diploma and they graduated in one of the fields that we actually look at and accept.
And then with the internship, you guys will be training them.
That's correct. They get to go out in the field with our staff. They learn about the job. They get to sit in court. They get to do a little bit of things right beside our family service workers.
Outstanding. Now, we're gonna go to break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the process and what you do, because it seems like you have a whole lot of stuff to let us know.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome to the Elliott Alert. My guest today again is Miss Angela Newcomb, who is our area director and has several counties. I can't even say all the counties for as many counties as it is. And we were talking a lot about different duties that you have and what they encompass. And I just wanted to go over some of them, because I know they're very important for Area 7 as well as Jefferson County. Yes. Now you spoke about, let's start with maybe the internship. I think that's fascinating that our kids can take advantage of interning with the department, because once they graduate, that means they have experience. That means that they know the job, so you guys don't have to retrain them as much. And that means that when they get out of college, they got an income and they can start paying taxes and help for my retirement.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about the internship. Now, you were saying how, if I'm a motivated college student and I say, well, you know, hey, I'm a sophomore, junior, I want to intern with the department. And there's a stipend, so I may be able to get a little bit of money while I'm working too as well. So how, as a college student, what would I do to get involved with that?
I would say the first thing, like I stated, you could talk with Lee Allen with the social work department here. Dr. Andrea Stewart is also very involved in that program as well. They can contact me at the my main office is here in the Jefferson County office, so they can contact me. I can kind of give them a little bit more information and how to start that process as far as the internship, if they're interested. The stipends program actually goes through the social work department here. We only are allotted 2 stipend students a year, and they can actually give more information about that and start that process with them.
Now, if I am a student and the first 2 students, maybe somebody told them about it and say, hey, man, you need to get over there and get that. Now, if I'm the 3rd or 4th student, could I still intern, but I may not be able to get a stipend? Is that?
Yes, that is a possibility. If there is a need and we have the staff to kind of pair them up with, then we can definitely look into that. There is actually an interview process for those stipend students. So if there's more than 1 or 2, you know, we actually have to sit down and actually do a formal interview with them, and we ask them the same questions of what we would our family service workers that they actually start out being asked, and if we feel that maybe they're capable of at least starting that process, then those are the ones that are usually chosen.
And see, that's a great thing, because it gives them an opportunity to go through the hiring process, and even if they may not make it, they still have some experience, number 1 with the resume, number 2 with the interview process, and I'm not sure about this, but you know, even if they may have had some issues with the interview or with the resume, I'm sure UAPB staff could address some of those things and help.
Yes, sir, they do.
Now, I guess a big question to me now, can a freshman come in and try an intern? Or does it have to be a junior, senior, sophomore?
I really don't know if there's certain guidelines.
So they would have to talk to
Mr. Lee Allen would be the best person.
So, but you know, even if if you could start at a freshman or if it's a sophomore, however, if they're freshmen and they can't take advantage of it, they can still work towards getting being a part of it as well. And maybe once they're a sophomore or junior, when it may start. Again, we don't know. They would have to talk to the gentleman. But I still look at that as a way of a kid can work towards something that they're passionate about. Because if they're getting into social work and they're going to class every day and they're getting a degree in it, they must have some passion for it. And an opportunity like that is outstanding.
And we also have our volunteer need as well. And we can always look at our college students to see if there's a way maybe they can just volunteer and they can put that on their resume as well.
You're absolutely right. And see, volunteering, and we don't take advantage of that aspect as well, because like you said, if they're a freshman and they want to volunteer, by the time it's time for them to maybe apply for a stipend and they have a year or 2 under it, they have so much experience and have been through the process enough that they should be able to go in and knock that out.
All they'd have to do is pass the background check, sign a confidentiality agreement. We sit down and we talk with them a little bit about the division and what our goals and what we hope to accomplish. And we can try to at least put them into the places maybe that they're looking at helping out with.
And you said something major. You said a background check.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's one of the things where we most definitely need to to catch them early, so our kids understand that with these state or government jobs, there's going to be a background check, and there's going to be a drug test.
Yes, sir.
There's going to be all those things. So if that's the direction you want to go into, you need to be prepared so when the opportunity comes that you're not left out because of one of those things.
That's correct. And also have good references.
Great reference. That's another thing. Because if you volunteer and people see your work ethics, they will be willing to say, look, I'll write a letter of recommendation for you. And then the people that you're volunteering with, if it's from the department, of course, they're going to say, well, yeah, he or she works well with us. And they're even going to go outside to different politicians or community leaders and ask for that support as well.
That's correct.
So, and now, the one thing we didn't do, tell me where you're originally from and also tell me where you graduated from.
Okay, wow. I'm actually from Jefferson County.
Okay.
I grew up in the Hardin community.
Okay.
Live in Whitehall, really the outskirts of Whitehall, so I've stayed in the same community and everything. I went kindergarten through 12th grade and graduated from Dalloway High School in 1993.
And that, hey, a home girl, that's
Yes,
outstanding. So you understand the needs of Jefferson County. We're going to go on a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about a little bit more of this wonderful information you have for us.
Okay,
We'll
great.
be right back.
Thank you.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself? B, make the best of it?
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
Or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
Welcome back to the Elliott Alert. My guest today is Miss Angela Newcomb, who is the area director. She has several counties. I can't mention them all, but she's a native of Jefferson County, and she works for the Department of Correction and is one of the directors, area directors. So when we left the last segment, we were talking about internship. Now I think we need to talk a little bit about foster care. One of the main necessities here, I think it's all around the state, but I'm more passionate about Jefferson County where I stay. How can a person actually help with this need that Jefferson County has, or am I wrong? Is there a need for it?
There is a very high need. Again, like I stated, you know, we average around 120 foster kids in Jefferson County alone, and that's those children that usually are not placed in temporary custody of another relative while we're working towards reunification with a parent or guardian. And we only have 14 available homes right now that are foster homes in Jefferson County.
In Jefferson County. And those are kids, and correct me if I'm wrong, are those kids that are actually from Jefferson County?
Those are all kids just directly from Jefferson County.
And then they have to be sent out other places and not placed in their own county?
That's correct. And that's one of another, I guess, an issue that kind of comes up. You know, the children, when they're taken out of a home, and it's not because of their fault.
Right.
It's because of, you know, issues that are going on in the home, and we feel like the children cannot be left safely in that home, even with services being provided at that time. You know, most of the time these kids are being taken out of what they know as their normal lifestyle. They're being taken out of their schools. if we can't get them close enough to the schools to be able to transport them back and forth, their community, their friends, their support systems that they might know that might not be willing or able to even step up and be maybe a provisional or a fictive kin foster parent for them.
And see, that has to, just thinking from an adult perspective, if somebody just uproot me and put me in hot springs, although I love to drink the water and stuff like that, but it would be a shock to me. And so imagine if you have this kid with no fault of his own or her own, has just been uprooted and has to leave and go somewhere where they don't know anyone, they don't have any friends, because during a trying part of life like that, if you're uprooted from your school or your friends, at least if you had to stay there, you still had that support of your friends that you know who could help you through it. But if you kind of take them away from all that and put them somewhere else, you kind of expect some problems or resistance, because if you do it to an adult, you would have issues. So what are some of the things that you could think of that could help address some of those issues?
Well, we actually, our biggest need, again, is more inside Pine Bluff itself. I mean, that's where the majority of our foster kids originate from. Okay. And so we are really kind of focusing in Pine Bluff city limits and everything. One of the ideas that I've had, and I've shared with you earlier, was how we have so many churches that are here in Pine Bluff. And if we could get each church to maybe have one family, or even if it's a single person that wants to become a foster parent, and they can go through the process, open their home as a foster parent, and that church support them in different ways, maybe that could actually help a lot more here in the community.
So if all the ministers came together and you were able to speak to them, what would you say to them? I mean, you would tell them that, or I mean, what would you say?
I would, and I would actually tell them the need and why I feel like this would be one of the best ways people in the community could help. Right. And I really feel when churches come together, a lot can be done. Right.
And then you again have that spiritual need right there as well, because you're going through a trying time. The family may be going through a trying time, and the members as well as the ministerial staff can help meet those needs, which that's what churches do.
That's correct. And one of our things that we're really looking at right now as far as the need for foster homes and those groups of kids is the number of sibling groups that we're getting in that are having to be placed in different foster homes. Yeah. We also have a lot of teenagers, as you know. Some of these teenagers already have problems and even are involved in the juvenile court system already. And if we can maintain them here, then they can still get all the services, the wraparound services that are provided through the juvenile court if they're involved in a offense or delinquency case already. And it's just easier for the court system to help them.
Right. There's a support system there built in so that there can be services put so it can actually reunify the family.
Yes, sir.
And before we go, I want to talk just a little bit about the adoption process as well. I know we don't have much time, but can you quickly tell us a little bit about the adoption process?
Yes, I mean there's a high need right now for adoptive homes as well for our larger sibling groups, our medically fragile children, our teenagers especially, because they need permanent, forever loving homes to call their own. So they can all go to that same website we had talked about earlier. I can give them my number and name at the end of the segment, and they can feel free to call me and I can guide them in the right direction.
Okay, and right quick, we want to say that even if a person fosters a child or adopts a child, that complete financial need is just not put on that parent, because sometimes people say, okay, if I foster them or I adopt them, that means I got to pay all this stuff. So there is some form of a stipend that helps, and it's not much, but
Right.
it's something that helps. Is that correct?
It can help. You know, we want to make sure that foster parents understand, or those that are wanting to be foster parents, it is not a way to make money
Right.
at all.
Exactly.
I mean, it does just help some. We help in other ways too to make sure that the needs of those kids are being met. And that's one of the reasons we have to make sure during the process of opening a foster home that they are financially stable
Right.
coming into it.
Again, can you tell our viewers how they can get in contact with you, or if they want to talk about any of the issues that we talked to? Can you look at them and tell them exactly what they can do?
Yes, you can go to fosterarkansas.org to find out more information about becoming a foster parent or adoptive parent in the state of Arkansas. You can also contact me. Again, my name is Angela Newcomb. The phone number is 870-534-4200, extension 101, and I'm willing to talk to anybody and guide them in the right direction.
Thank you. I just want to let you know you have just been placed on alert.
Thank you.
All right.